Please subscribe to our channel, and for latest update, click on the bell icon.
Now let us talk about the roles in group discussion. When you are sitting for your group discussion with the students of 8 to 12 members, sometimes it's 16, sometimes it's 20. It totally depends on the recruiter. You can take multiple roles. The first one I would recommend is be the beginner. When the topic is announced, quickly have a thought process and start the conversation, because this shows that you have a lot of courage and confidence to lead a team. You're able to voice your opinion. So you give a positive impact, you give a positive opinion about yourself to the recruiter. Try to be a beginner. Sometimes you can also change to be or choose to be a facilitator. Keep track of the discussion. Sometimes the students are so involved in the discussion, they forget the topic, and from one example they go to the other, and finally they drift, they start talking about something else. So that is when you can tell them, we are, the topic given to us is this, I think we are drifting, we need to resume, we need to return to this. So you are kind of facilitating that the group is on the right track. The next one is seeker of information. This is a process where you trigger questions. If somebody has given a statement and you did not get the concept, or you're looking for some more information on that, you trigger questions. You try to trigger the person to give more information. So seeker of information. Next is disseminator of information. Prefers to share information. So I've written written here, prefers to share information, which means the person, if you choose to be a disseminator, you need to give a lot of information to your colleagues, to your peer group. You have to share. You have to engage them in making them to listen to you. So which means you need to have enough content if you choose to play this role. Next is seeker of opinion. If you choose to be a seeker of opinion, you will first learn the art of listening. You will listen to people's opinion, and then you will give your reply or your opinion. Next is giver of opinion. Before you can ever listen to many people's opinion, you straight away, in my opinion, I feel this is it. You just generally give your opinion, and you give supporting informations to your opinion. Next is analyst. When you're an analyst, you analyze whatever this person has said, you analyze whatever that person has said, and then you give your statement. You can very well confess, saying that after analyzing the concept of this, I strongly believe that this can happen. So you are showing that you are, a good analyst. Next is bridge creator. Now, most often in a group discussion, the group actually splits in two. One will be for the topic and one will be against the topic. So if you choose to be the bridge, you can actually take the best points of the positives and the best points of the negatives and try to relate, try to bridge. You try to arrive at a common goal. That's the success of a group discussion. It's not that half the group decides one and half the group decides another one. You have to facilitate and merge so that you get one result of your group discussion. The next is reliever. What do we mean when you play the role of a reliever? If there's some problem, some argument between two individuals or some members in the group, you tend to relieve them. You tend to solve their problem. You tell them, to stay in control, to stay calm, or you at least give them enough body language or gestures that they understand that, they are not supposed to be doing this. Next is, and one more thing I would like to recommend, it's always good for you to know the names, at least the names of the members in the group. So when you talk to them, you can refer to them saying, mentioning the name, saying Avinash or Anita, whatever. You can refer to their name. It shows a kind of personal touch when you speak, referring to the person's names. Next is community supporter. Sometimes the GD topic will be so, so trendy that it will have an influence on the community. So if you choose to be a community supporter, you have to speak for the community, speak for the society. And when you do so, you have to give relevant examples. Next is summary maker. This is a very important, and this is an easy but a very important job, because this shows that you are actively present in the discussion. It's not that I started the topic and I sit to daydream or I sit to just watch what's happening. No. It means that you were actively involved. You say, like, we started off the discussion with this concept, Later on, with these examples and these explanations and these evidences, we move on to this. Therefore, I think it's a healthier approach to do this. So when you summarize, you're giving the recruiter a message that you are largely alive and awake to the discussion. The next is energy spreader. Sometimes the group, dies out. They become so soft and they do not trigger enough examples. So you can be the person who supplies the energy. You can be the person who can jump up with some lovely ideas, with some vigorous data. So all this involves a lot of reading. You need to have rich content with you. Only then you can, play any of these roles effectively. So you can pause the video. You can choose whichever role you want. Most often, most of the students target to be beginner, but believe me, when you go for the group discussion, I don't know what happens, automatically people take different roles. So whatever role you are taking, each role will have its own value. It doesn't mean that just because you choose to be the beginner, you're going to get selected. No. Whichever role you choose, see that you choose and contribute effectively so that you get selected. So you are not fallen into the category of elimination. So once again, I recommend you to develop your knowledge by reading. Be rich in content. Read about the current affairs. Read about the latest research, the recent assignments of India, or the recent MOUs of India and other countries, the recent projects in upcoming companies, or the future of India, whatever can really touch your mind, just read it. Because most often, the topics for group discussion are taken from such kind of areas. And whatever be the topic, if you are nil for content, do not be afraid. Just listen to people talking, and from there, you can pick up your own statements using phrases. All right? So when you go for a GD, always dress very smartly in your best formal attire. Well, it's for gents, it's a formal plain shirt, preferably a self-colored shirt or a self-designed shirt. And with, of course, your shoes and socks. And your socks and your belt need to be matching. If you wear a black socks, you need to have a black belt. So this is the normal thing which is expected. Tie and a suit is not required for a group discussion. Well, it depends on the company or the portfolio you're applying for. If it is so required, you may use. Whereas for ladies, it can be a Western shirt and a Western pant, of course, well dressed, and hair in a bun or in a high ponytail with no hanging earrings or stud earring, and mild makeup, no gaudy colors, and mild perfumes, please. And if you decide to go in an Indian formal wear, you can wear a salwar kameez. Saris are not so much, welcomed for employment in a corporate sector. Maybe after you get the job, and if so desired, you can wear. But whereas for placement at campuses, they prefer the salwar kameez, of course, with your dupatta and neatly ironed, and not the gaudy bright colors, not the party combinations, the milder professional ones. And always have that